Mic check. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another daily live stream. Today is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. How's it going? How's everyone doing? Nice to see you all in chat here. Nice to see people show up. Nice that people are sharing their journey. Hello, hello. It's a pretty nice sunny day here in Chicago. I went to get a haircut earlier today. I need to shower because got the haircut done, but feeling good. Today's a pretty busy day for me. I have a lot of projects going on, so I might just get the accountability out of the way here. Might have a shorter stream, but I wanted to make sure that I still show up. We have a conversation. And for many of you who are here right now, how are things going? How are things going on your journey? How is your accountability? Thank you for being here and thank you for sharing that. Remember, my job is to share how I'm doing so I can be accountable, but at the same time, you should do the same. You want this? You want to get the weight off? You want to get to your goals? Do this with me. Show up, be accountable, be transparent. Before I continue, Maggie May, For the Good, Miss Peaceful One, Portia, Liver King fan, Megan, Patty. Did I say Shauna already? I didn't. Shauna, Judy, Tanisha. Tanisha says, thank you for being here, Jerome. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Mrs. Angeles, who made it to alive on her lunch break. Hello. Margaret, nice to see you from Facebook. Kay Betters. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. So let's get right into it. Today is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. That's the wrong screen. Here's the right one. Yolon. What's up, Jerome? What's up, Yolon? How's it going? How's it going? Today is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. Today is day 682 of my fasting journey. How many months is 682 days? If I divide it by 30, that's almost 23 months at this point. I'm almost 2 years in. Hey, Bradderson, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. It's been nearly 2 years of practicing imperfect consistency, applying fasting into my health and wellness journey, obviously, applying better eating, applying exercise, working on my sleep. Yesterday, I talked quite a bit about sleep and the importance of rest and recovery, the importance of your mental health, not getting triggered, not using food as an emotional coping mechanism. And if you are, then maybe what the plan is while you're here is that you continue working on lessening that from happening, right? Is to find yourself in a place where you can start applying good, healthy habits into your rotation. That's what I want for all of you. That's what we should all be striving for, practicing good, healthy habits. Randall, hey, I see you there. Nice to have you in here. Kara, did I say that right? Kara loves cardio. Thanks. I appreciate the kind words. So in the last almost 2 years of my journey, I say this every day. Has it been perfect? No, obviously not. But the difference is that no matter what, no matter how good or bad, I continue to show up. The difference is that even on the bad days, even on the difficult days, even on the days that I struggle, I try to push myself to at least still do the very minimum and show up. Actually, that's maybe a good conversation here is for you. It's not so much about how long you're going to fast for, how hard you're going to push. because you know those days will come. But maybe the real conversation is that your bare minimum, that the least you can do, even on a very difficult day, is to show up for yourself. You might be asking, well, what does that mean? What does it mean to show up for yourself? Does it mean I have to be on these live streams? No, it doesn't mean that. You can if you want to, if it's helpful for you, if it helps promote motivation and inspiration and it continues to keep you going, sure, why not? Right? It doesn't cost you anything. You just come here, spend some time during the day, and get your head straight. But what it means is on a day that you're struggling, on a day that you're having a hard, difficult time, all it means is that you continue to be aware of what you're doing. You continue to keep pushing yourself forward. And it doesn't mean that you have to then do the hardest things in the world that day either. All it means is you don't throw away the day. That's really all that it means. If you're struggling and you know you can't push along fast, if you know you can't eat the cleanest, if you know that you can't get all your steps in, okay, right? All that means, though, is you're still being aware and you don't want to throw away the day completely. I've had that recently. When I share how I gained almost 30 pounds in about 5 weeks back in mid-June to July, that was me falling into bad habits. That was me. And right, there were days during that time frame where I didn't want to show up. I wasn't doing the bare minimum. And that's the honest truth. Going on vacation for a week is one thing, but then taking some other days where I wasn't taking care of myself and didn't want to be accountable and missed doing live streams and didn't even tell my audience, that was me falling into bad habits. These are moments where I tell myself I can't have that happen. I might not make a daily live stream forever. I know that's probably not what you want to hear. But at the same time, I can at least be like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it today. And instead of just completely turning my back and walking away, the real progress here is, hey, let me at least show up for it. Let me at least own my accountability if it comes to having a struggle, if it comes to having a hard day. I do know one thing. When people are struggling, when people are having a hard day, when people are having a difficult time, and I see people share that in the chat, it makes me remember that we are imperfect, that we are human. And in a lot of ways, it really seems like when I am struggling personally and I talk about it and I post about it, that's when a lot of people show up. People in a lot of ways relate to that because they're like, me too, me too, me too, right? And it's really made it even clearer for me how important it is to share those moments, because that is how we grow. That is how we continue to build this community. That is how we relate to each other. I'm not just on here bragging about everything all day, every day. I mean, I will brag about the good days and I will boast about, look at how long I've been doing this for. But you all know it isn't perfect every single day. And right, even for Select to share this here, I've been slipping up the past week, trying to get on track by eating food that doesn't raise insulin too much. Actually, Select, you and I, we need to have a conversation. We have a coaching session, right? I forgot. And you just reminded me because I had that with BMJ recently. And so you and I should have a conversation. I'll reach out to you. I'll email you because I know you had emailed me last. So, but right, even for Select to say this is meaningful. This is Select saying, hey, I know what I used to do. I used to do nothing about this, right? Maybe, I don't know exactly. But for you to share this and for even people here like Miss Peaceful One to be supportive, hopefully that's helpful and remindful for you, right? That, okay, here I am. This is what I need to do next. And I mean, even for you to say, I'm trying to get back on track by eating food that doesn't raise insulin too much, right? That's you being mindful. That's you trying your hardest to be like, okay, I can do something for myself. I can take care of myself. I want to keep moving forward. Kevin, how's it going? Vada, show your belly. You can go watch one of my actually watch my short. I showed it. I don't know why you're so obsessed with it, but enjoy. So after pushing on almost 30 pounds in about 5 weeks, right? I ended up doing what I know that I can do best. And that's to get right back into a fasting routine. Since July 23rd, today's day 56 now that I've been doing this every day. For the last 8 weeks, for the last 2 months, I have been here every day. And I have been performing a whole variety of fasting. I have done ADFs, like you see here in the first bullet, 9 ADFs in a row, eating about 2,700 calories, losing 21 of those 30 pounds that I gained in 18 days. I had a 7,500 calorie day, pushed up in weight, but then countered it with a 93-hour fast, continuing to lose more weight. I've had 4 rounds of ADF. I've had a 4,800 calorie day. I've done 67-hour fast, 66-hour fast, continuing to lose weight. I've had a 6,300 calorie refeed day, pushing up 11 pounds, and then doing another 60-hour fast, and then losing that weight on top of it, continuing to lose all the weight that I've gained. And then look at that that highlight that says 1 week vacation, right? During that 1 week vacation, I've had a 4,400 calorie day, a 6,000 calorie day, a 7,300 calorie day, and then did a 64-hour fast, ate 5,300 calories. And since then, I've done 5 rounds of ADF. And in those rounds of ADF, I had some 20% days, eating 4,300 calories, eating 9,500 calories. What do I mean by all of these stats? Is that it's literally imperfect consistency. It's literally me showing you that as I continue to push on my journey, I continue to lose weight. I continue to get better at my good habits. And that should be your goal, right? Don't worry so much about fasting for a week, for fasting for 10 days. I mean, these are all great things that maybe you've already accomplished. But what about the other things? Have you accomplished doing shorter fasts and being successful with that? Have you accomplished eating better during your refeeds, keeping your calories down? Have you found success doing that? Because if you haven't, maybe that's the next move, right? Maybe what you need to do is to continue working on your other weight loss levers. It isn't just about fasting. At the very beginning of my journey, it really was based on fasting because it was something that I was good at. And I was like, if I can fast for this long, I can still eat what I want and I'll continue to lose weight. And that's exactly what I did. And I had a lot of success doing that. I felt really good doing that. But I also knew as I did 90-hour fast after 90-hour fast after 90-hour fast after 90-hour fast, that eventually I would start to feel the burnout. And luckily, after doing about 35 90-hour fasts in a row, I got to my goal weight, pushed it down to 65-hour fasts, learned how to control my calories, did 42-hour fasts, and now I can go on vacation. I can eat back-to-back days. And what used to be very difficult for me in the past is a lot easier today. It's taken a lot of time to get to this place. But a big reason that I'm able to do it is by showing up every day. So for many of you who are in here, when it comes to your journey, maybe all it means is to just be accountable, is to just share how things are going. It's really easy to talk about your good days. It's another thing to talk about when you struggle. And sometimes I do think the way you can get over that is by showing up, is by having a conversation about it. When I talk about my imperfect consistency, if you look at my last 10 refeeds from August 27th through September 15th, there are a lot of days here where I'm up higher in calories than where I want to be. I try to keep my calories under 3,000, and you'll see many of these are over 3,000. If you look at the purple highlights, that's a little different because I was on vacation. I was enjoying my time. I wasn't too worried about the calories then, but I was still being mindful about it. You might think, well, 6,000 calories, 7,250 calories, being mindful, how's that being mindful? For me, it's being mindful because I know I can go double that, probably triple that. The big difference then in that past vacation is I was still roughly counting. I was still being aware. I wasn't just saying, I'm just going to eat this entire bag of chips and this entire package of cookies and not even think about how many calories are in there. Instead, I was still trying to make better choices. And that's also why the weight has been so stable. Remember, I lost this weight on day 138. That was March of 2024. That was over a year and a half ago. And since that time, right, I've been in this place where I've been able to continue losing this weight or keeping the weight off, rather. In order for you to grow, in order for you to understand and learn about how to eat better, how to exercise better, how to fast better, you have to go through it. You have to do the dirty work. You have to go through the rough patches on your journey. That is how you're going to learn. You and I both know there isn't a lot of learning to do if you fast for a long time. Sure, you'll learn along the way. You'll realize that you can do hard things. But if you're not showing up for yourself during the hard moments, how are you going to figure that out? How are you going to get over the nothing part if you're just giving it up completely? We'll just go through some of these nerd stats because this isn't anything new since I haven't refed. Yesterday was a fasting day for me. My average refeed time right now is around 5.5 hours. My average calories per refeed is quite high, over 4,000. My average protein per refeed, about 200, which I'm good with. Just because my average refeeds right now are over 4,000 doesn't mean I'm giving up. It doesn't mean I'm throwing away the day. I show it here for transparency's sake, to know that it's still something that I need to work on. I know the volume of the food I eat is something I need to continue to work on. But let's take a look at where my weight is now. These are my last 10 refeed weights and my last 10 fasted weights. If you look at what's highlighted in red, you'll see that after a refeed, I'll push 5, 6, 7+ pounds, right? If you look at my last refeed, because I kept it under 3,000, my gain was only 3 pounds. And then look at what happened today, 20, 24, 26 hours later this morning when I weighed on the scale, I dropped 5.6 pounds and I'm back to 142.8. That's where I'm at today, 142.8. But take a look at this, right? This is over the last 20 days, over the last 3 weeks. The weight has pretty much stabilized. I find myself anywhere between the high 140s down to the low to mid 140s. And as I continue to go day after day after day, the trend is still continuing to push itself down. That's a big think about the weight pushing up 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds. That can be detrimental for many of us. If you push up that much in weight, many of us look at that number on the scale and it freaks us out. We end up doing things that we shouldn't. We end up saying, well, what's the point of this fast? I'm just going to eat whatever. Instead of trusting the process. Because if you can trust the process, take a look at what's highlighted in green. On the 16th of September, on the last highlight, when I gained 3 pounds after my refeed, this morning I got up and I was down 5.5 pounds. It doesn't mean I gained 3 pounds of fat and lost 5.5 pounds of fat. That's a lot of water weight doing what water weight does. And I know that yesterday because I was going to the bathroom for a while at one point. When I have my big refeeds, the water flushes itself out eventually. And so I'm back at 142.8 pounds. My hope is by the end of September, I can break into the 130s. Now, whether that's going to happen has yet to be seen. But whether it happens or not, it doesn't change the protocol. It doesn't change my journey. The journey continues, right? I keep pushing on. I keep figuring out what's next. How can I get better? Can I continue to lift heavier at the gym? Can I continue to make sure that my cardio sessions are good? That I can, today even, after I got my haircut, I was carrying my scooter and my backpack and the train was coming. And it was literally probably 30 steps, probably more than that. And for me, I just rushed it up. And it's just crazy how I can do that. And I caught the train. And like, if you asked me that 2 years ago, it would have been impossible because I'm not even 2 years into my journey. Actually, you know what's really interesting is today my barber was like, because my barber knows about my fasting journey and has seen pictures of me. And then my barber was like, that was 2 years ago? That was only 2 years ago? And I'm like, it wasn't even 2 years ago. I mean, November will be 2 years. So we're coming up on 2 years. And for them, they couldn't even believe it, that was literally me 2 years ago. The practice of imperfect consistency, the practice of showing up every day, the practice of being accountable every single day, it will net you tremendous results because this is how you continue to learn about yourself. Whether you want, how can I say this? We're always striving to be perfect. We're always striving to get those huge results. And I don't know if social media has skewed a lot of it because you'll see people on social media who look quote unquote perfect. But life isn't like that. And it's not going to be like that every single day. The best you can do for yourself that day is good enough. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with realizing that you did the best that you could today? I have photos that show where I was before and after. And it is, for me, it is remarkable to see how quickly the weight came off, especially after gaining it back. But I really do think that the real success is how long I can continue to keep this off. The one thing that I know that no one will be able to take away from me, right, is I've been doing this now for almost 2 years. So people can say what they want, people can feel however they want. But for me, keeping this weight off for this long, having optimal blood work for this long, feeling energetic for this long, no one can take that shit away from me. You can't take that shit away from me. This is the best that I've been in my entire life. That is a feeling that is priceless. That's a feeling that no one can take away from me. I know people are in here in the chat, and I do see something from For the Good here where it says, I'm 10 pounds up. Typical weight is 107 to 110 and lately been around 117. Not worried one bit. It's waste. It's water. I trust the process as well, Jerome. Weight and inflammation will go down. And that's right. Like when I see that, that's the way to look at it. The number on the scale is not the be all end all. It never was. I think sometimes we gauge our success on a number that a scale is giving us, when the real successes, the real wins, is how you fit in your clothes, what your energy is like throughout the day, what your blood work numbers look like after going to the doctor, to know that you're not sick. Those are the real successes. To know that you have control in your life. To know that you're not emotionally eating or stress eating or eating for comfort or eating for boredom. Those are the real successes. Those are the real things to be proud of, to be celebrating. Many of us can't see it like that because we're so hung up on the number. But trust me, take enough time to be here day in and day out, and you'll start to realize that number is going to do what it wants to do. Look at how often these numbers fluctuate for me. And I've been doing this for 682 days. And as I look at my own spreadsheet, these numbers have been swinging wherever they want to. But every day I record it. Every day I learn. Every day I work on my good habits. Every day I take the good with the bad. And on those bad days, on those difficult days, those are the days to learn. Those are the days to grow. Chell, thank you for the kind words. Chell says, great job, Jerome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Obviously, it's more than just fasting. This is a combination of eating better, of getting my steps in, of lifting weights at the gym. And it's not even, when I talk about strength training, I'm not just talking about pushing heavy at the gym. I'm not just talking about lifting heavy weights either. For many of you who have not even thought about strength training, sometimes what that might mean for people is, instead of just doing cardio all day, sometimes it means stretching. Sometimes it means working on your flexibility. Sometimes it means doing core work. Sometimes it means doing body weights, meaning that you don't need to use weights. There are a lot of other things to maintain your muscle, to build your muscle. You don't have to lift the heaviest weights in the world. But I do think there's a lot to be said about keeping the muscle that you have, being strong, being able to, even for me, when I grab groceries, and if I'm grabbing like a 12 pack of pop, and I got to buy 2 of them because it's buy one, get one free, or whatever the sale is, and being able to carry that and walk a few blocks without it affecting me, those are huge wins. So again, think about all of the other things that come with, think about all the other wins, think about all the other non-scale victories that come with this. And that's why strength training, cardio, your sleep, your mental health all play a big part. In the last 56 days, in the last 2 months, my daily step average is over 16,000 steps. Yesterday's step count, over 16,000. Does it mean that you have to walk 16,000 steps a day? No. Does it mean that you have to fast like me every single day? No. Does it mean you have to eat 9,500 calories on a 20% day? Of course not. You have to do what works for you. You have to find your individual goals. Your individual journey is going to vary because we all feel a different type of way when we struggle. We all celebrate a different type of way. We all exercise a different type of way. Trust me, if I could keep my calories under 3,000 every day, or even 2,500 calories every day, it would give me the opportunity to eat more often. But I'm not there yet. Maybe I will be in the future. But I wasn't 2 years ago. 2 years ago, before my journey even started, right? I couldn't even control my calories. I was binging every single day. And then I got into 90-hour fasts. But I was still eating 6,000, 7,000 calories per refeed. And that alone, right, was my own struggle. That's why when people want to imitate exactly what I do, it's like, listen, you don't have to do it like me. My journey is completely different. My struggles are completely different. But like I've said before, we all have the same goal here. We're all trying to be happy and healthy. We're all trying to figure our shit out. So if you can be here and you can show up for yourself and you can be accountable and you can share how your day is going and it's helpful for you, continue to do so. Continue to do that. Sarah, I see you here on Facebook. Appreciate you. Sarah says, hi, Jerome. Love your videos and live streams. Sarah also says, I like working out and walking, but I have a bad relationship with food. And so I just want to point this out because Sarah, I did see your email or the email I got. I know we'll be having a conversation, but right, even for you to say, I have a bad relationship with food, these are these real moments where it's like, okay, how do we figure out the next steps? What do we do to even take small steps to start changing that? The best way I look at this too is when I see someone say something like, I have a bad relationship with food, and Sarah, I know we'll have this discussion. The first thing that I'm going to say is, let's work on some of your habits. And actually, maybe that's a good thing for you to think about before you and I talk is, what do those bad habits look like? And maybe then we can start discussing how we start making small changes to get you out of there. It doesn't mean that those changes turn overnight. I've said that before. It's not like people are going to talk with me and then tomorrow they're going to be completely cured. But what it can mean is that you start taking small steps. You start allowing imperfection to be okay. And then you let those good, healthy habits work itself, right? Just like the scale will work itself down if the good, healthy habits follow along with it. The one thing that I think about too, right, is, and I've mentioned this to people I've coached, I've mentioned this to other people in passing when I have a conversation, but for example, right? Let's say you're somebody that eats a whole thing of Oreos. Let's say there's just an entire package of Oreos and you just can't help yourself and you eat that entire package. There's nothing that you can do to stop yourself from doing it. If I told you, hey, just eat half of the package, you'd be like, I can't, Jerome, I can't. It's just too hard. right? If I say eat just 3/4 of the package, you might say that's impossible. I'm so used to eating everything. And then if I were to say something like, what if you had that entire package of Oreos and you could eat all of them except for one? And usually the response to that is, that's ridiculous. Why would I just leave one? It's like eating the entire thing anyway, right? And I know there are many of you who might be thinking that. But what I'm trying to explain here is leaving one out of the entire package, if you're used to eating that way, that's progress already. And you might say, but that's not even worth it, because what's one cookie? That's your all or nothing brain thinking. That's your all or nothing saying, this isn't good enough, so what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? What's the point, right? But even just leaving one and throwing it away or giving it to someone or, saving it until tomorrow, right? Doing something like that is already progress. Doing something like that is already rewiring your brain to be like, hey, I can do this. And it doesn't mean the next day, because here's the thing. If the next day you eat the entire package again, okay, right? But hopefully the goal here is that over time, as you practice that habit day after day after day after day after day, it gets better. The bad habits become less frequent. I'll say this again. You and me and everyone in here, your main goal, your main objective is to incorporate good, healthy habits into your daily routine. It doesn't mean that you just have to fast all day. It doesn't mean that you have to just eat the cleanest all day. But what it can mean is you start doing things like, I'm going to make sure I have a good sleeping schedule, because that's the least I can do. I'm going to make sure that I don't doom scroll on my phone at night so that I only get 3 hours of sleep. I'm going to make sure that when I go out to eat, I'm going to at least make one mindful choice, one healthy decision. And again, if you're listening to this and you're like, that's pointless, that's barely doing anything, that kind of thinking, if that's the way you're thinking, is the all or nothing part of you. And you can't let that part go. And you have to let that part go. You have to let that all or nothing part of you go. Because if you continue doing this all or nothing type thing, you will keep cycling and cycling and cycling. You will keep digging yourself a bigger hole, right? And then you know what's going to happen is when that all part of you comes, right? When you're like, okay, I can do it now, you're going to drop 20 pounds, 30 pounds. But if you haven't figured out the nothing part, what's going to happen? How long are you going to be in this nothing side of things before you end up gaining all the weight back or gaining it and then some? And you haven't learned how to do the middle part. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about imperfect consistency. This is what I talk about when I talk about changing your habits, incorporating good, healthy habits. And maybe some of you are watching this and you're like, I get it. That makes sense. But how can I make sure that I can keep this going? You're looking at it right here. You're literally looking at it right here. I have been doing this day after day after day, showing my accountability, showing you that I am here to show up for myself. You've seen me eat 9,500 calories, 7,300 calories. You've seen me go off the rails, right? But I continue to show up. All you have to do is the same thing. Show up for yourself. Share. There are people here in chat sharing, being vulnerable, and you see the support that comes along with it. Trust me, I don't put up with bullshit in chat. So if anybody's ever out of line, they're gone. I don't even question it. I don't even think about it. I want to be here to support a good community. I want to be here to support people who want to help each other. I want to be here, or I want people who are in here. I want people in here who want to be happy and healthy. That's it, right? If I don't get that, if I don't see that from you, I don't need it. And you know what? That's also part of my mental health, right? Why do I need to deal with negativity? Why do I need to deal with people who are going to bullshit, right? I'm here to help, and I want to help. And I love when I see other people help each other out, right? Thomas with a 50, I don't know exactly what SEK is, but Thomas with a 50 SEK donation. Thomas, thank you so much for your support. Oh, it's Swedish. Swedish, I'm probably going to say this wrong. Kronor? Thomas, thank you for the 50 Swedish kronor, about $5. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate that, Thomas. Thomas says, I appreciate what you do. Thank you for always pushing me and giving me the motivation I sometimes lack. You're very welcome, Thomas. And again, right, like this is my goal for anyone here. Over the last couple days or weeks, I've realized that I can just continue to help people every day. And honestly, that's my goal. Don't think that you're wasting my time. Don't think that I can't help you. Take advantage of the time that we have. As I do this every single day, if this is helpful for you, show up every day. If this is helpful for you, be here. If this is motivating, if this is inspiring for you, share it with us. Because here's the thing, right? All of you watch me and you see what I do and you're like, I love that. That's motivating. That helps me. I feel the same way when you share what you're doing. I feel the same way when you share the good and the bad. Even when I read about the struggles, I read about those struggles and I'm like, I relate. I understand. And you'll see me highlight that every once in a while because then we can have a discussion about it. We can talk about it. Because it takes a lot to share that vulnerability. And I appreciate people in here being able to help each other out as well. That means a lot to me because I know I can't read everything. I know I can't get to everyone, but I can at least help where I can. And again, as I show up every day, take advantage of that. Bradderson says, as a Canadian, I like the root shirt, Jerome. I like it too. Canada, right? My tita, my aunt, she got this for me when I was in Canada. She was like, I don't know what size you wear. So she bought me the biggest boys size that she could find. And it actually fits pretty perfect. So, okay. So where am I at here? When I talk about imperfect consistency, I go by something called the 80-20 rule, right? Meaning that 80% of the time, I do what I should be doing. I'm keeping my calories clean. I am getting my steps in. I'm lifting weights. I'm sleeping well. 80% of the time. And then the other 20% of the time, I might be going out with friends. I might be having a drink. I might not get my steps in for the day. Now, it also doesn't mean that on my quote unquote 20% days, I'm just doing nothing at all. I'm just completely binging and eating. I suppose I could if I want to, but I'm still trying to be very mindful of the things I'm doing, even on my quote unquote 20% days. But it is a more relaxed, a more lenient version of my 80% days. And obviously, 80% of the time, if you think about it, it makes the most sense because those good days will outweigh the difficult days or the 20% days. In the last 56 days for me, in the last 2 months, I have had 47 80% days. My average calorie refeeds are under 3,000. And this is only based off of 16 refeeds of those 56 days. Why? Or this is only based off 16 refeeds of the last 47 days. Why? Because the other 31 days were completely fasted. So of the 16 refeeds of the last 47, 80% days, my calorie average is under 3,000. But if you were really curious, because I was curious, if you were to take the last 47, 80% days and you were to average, I actually did that wrong. That should be 47,000 calories divided by 40, what is it? 46, 40, 47, 47, 1,016, right? So if you were to take my average calories and don't look at that 853 number, but if you're thinking about the 80% days, even the days I had 0 calories, if you were to average how many calories I would be eating every day, it's about 1,000 calories a day. Obviously, my fasting days are 0 calories, but just to give you an insight on that. And if you look at my 20% days, right, you'll see me eat over 6,000 calories. But it's only been 9% of the time, or 13 or 14% of the time. It's only been 9 times out of the last 56 days. So even though I might eat over 6,000 calories every once in a while, it's only every once in a while. It's only been 9 times out of the last 56 days. The other 47 days have been me fasting or keeping my refeeds in check. The good days continue to outweigh the bad days, and that is how my weight stays steady. That is how my weight pushes down. That is how I've been able to keep this weight off over time. Let's not forget, I have been able to keep this weight off and lose this weight naturally. Naturally. No medication, no injections, no pills, no surgery, just every day showing up, being accountable, being transparent. And I'll show this again when I do fit check, because I'm about to do fit check in a second here. But if someone like me who has been overweight, obese, morbidly obese my entire life can do it, even at 44 years old, almost 45 in less than 3 months, I know there are a number of you who can do it too. And if you're asking the question, how, Jerome, how can I do it? The answer is simple. Work on your good, healthy habits. Start to chip away at your bad, unhealthy habits. So, with that being said, let's do fit check. If you are not sure what fit check is where I will stand back here and I will show you what I look like physically. Why do I do that? Because for me, it's a good way to be accountable. For me, it's a good way to show up. For me, it's a good way to be transparent about what I look like on a lean day or a day that I feel bloated or extra bloated, so that you can see what I look like the day after a 3,000 calorie refeed or a 6,000 calorie refeed or a 9,000 calorie refeed. Now, for me, like I said earlier, I have been overweight my entire life, ever since I was a child. It's not like I just gained this weight in my 40s or in my 30s. I have been like this ever since I was a little kid, an adolescent, in my teenage years, in my 20s, in my 30s, and even in my 40s. I used to weigh as heavy as 235 pounds. And that's me being 5'3" I was like, it's because I'm trying to figure out kilograms here. I don't talk about it often because I'm just used to pounds, but right, 235 pounds is 107 kilograms, 107. 107 kilograms for someone like me who's 5'3". Used to wear a 38 size waist, a 40 even, just depends. And now, right, I wear boys' clothes or I wear a size small shirt. Usually the size small shirts fit better if they're from Japan. The ones in the US are a little bigger, they're a little longer, but I pretty much shop at the boys section because I'm short, but the clothes fit me a lot better. So let's do fit check real quick here. Sorry for all the noise. Again, this is a boy's shirt. These are boys' shorts, actually, too. Here is the full shot, the side, the rear, the side, and then the front. Roots. I didn't even know Roots was because I guess we don't have Roots in the US. Maybe we do. I've never seen them, but I know Roots is big in Canada because I see them everywhere and I see other people wearing Roots clothing. Anyway, thank you, Tita. I know she's not watching this, but thank you, Tita. Salamat, Tita. Either way. So anyway, that's fit check. So let's do Q&A, question and answer. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask them now. And you know what, maybe we'll do this too, right? If any of you want to just share your journey or let me know what day you're on, actually, that's something that I wanted to talk about. Somebody left me a comment yesterday on my last live stream, and I meant to take a screenshot of it and I forgot to do that. But I want to highlight that because it was really meaningful for me. But again, at the same time, if you have questions, ask them now. But I actually want to highlight this specific comment. So I had someone comment yesterday, speaking of Roots, the person's handle is Canadian, or it says Canadian Carly, says, day 623 of my journey, right? When I saw this, I was like, day 623? I'm on day 682. This must be somebody who's been following me for a bit. And they said, day 623 of my journey. I found you early in 2024, and I have not missed an episode yet. Thank you, Canadian Carly, for the support. I started at 235 pounds. So me at my heaviest, right? My all-time high is what they said. Today, I weighed in at 149 pounds. Congratulations, Canadian Carly. Fasting is the way for me, and you have helped me so much through the ups and downs. Here is me showing up as someone who is very shy. Thanks for sharing daily with us. I look forward to them so much. And I wanted to highlight that because that incredible to know that I'm even able to help people who might not even show up in the comments or who might not show up often. That's what I mean. It means so much to me. Again, like I said, don't think I don't read through the comments, because I do. I read through the chats. I read through everything. And for someone to tell me that they have been 623 days into this journey, it's like, you've been doing this with me. And it makes me happy to see that you found success to go from 235 pounds down to 149. And I'm sure, right, even for Canadian Carly here, I'm sure it hasn't been 623 days of perfection. I'm sure in the last 623 days, they have learned more about themselves because they continue to show up. And hopefully, right, I hope for many of you, you find yourself in that place. Okay, so before I answer any questions as well, I'm losing track of what I'm saying here. If you are looking for help when it comes to fasting, weight loss, or accountability, you can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. We can talk through a plan and a strategy to help you get to your goals. Most people know what you need to do when it comes to losing weight. Most of you know what good, healthy habits look like, but maybe the part that's missing there is accountability. And many people I work with, that's where the accountability comes into play. That's where I come into play. It's a good way to remind you that you have someone working with you. I know I tell people I work as a coach, but honestly, if you think about it, I'm doing this with you. I've been doing this with you now for almost 2 years, right? We do this on a regular basis. I'm always hitting my timer. I'm always being accountable. And the one thing that I ask for people, especially when they sign up with me, right, is just show that accountability back. If I can be accountable, you can be accountable, even on the hard days, because those are the times that you want to have that conversation. Those are the times to really show up. Stop being that person kicking the can down the road, rescheduling with me, pushing the date out and further out and further out. I know it sounds like I might be calling on you. And when I say that, you know who I'm talking about, because I see when people reschedule over and over and over. But what I'm trying to say, right? Those hard times, those difficult times, those are the times to really show up and have a conversation. Anyway, finalyfasting.com for anybody who might be interested. Oh, and the last thing, if you would like to support me in a different way, if you're trying to support me in a different way, you can go to the link in this live stream and you can be part of the Finally Fasting fam. It is a membership on YouTube. If you click that link and you join, you can get your name on the intros of these live streams. You can use custom emoji. And if you join the higher tier, the autophagy tier, we will be doing a Wednesday live stream, a Wednesday accountable live stream, actually in about 2.5 hours from now. So if that's something you're interested in, those accountability live streams isn't just me talking. Other people are sharing their accountability. Some people come on camera, some people just through audio, some people just through chat, but we share a communal spreadsheet. We all use that spreadsheet. We all have our individualized journeys and we share how our weeks go. So if you're looking for another layer of accountability, feel free to check that out. Again, you can go to the link in the live stream if that might be something you're interested in. So, okay. Let me see here. I'm scrolling up just to see what other, I'm already scrolling up. And as soon as I saw the avatar, Mike with a $5 super chat. Mike, thank you so much for your support. Jerome checking in, breaking my 4th 90 today. Oh, Mike, I love to see it. And Mike, I got your email yesterday, and that's perfectly fine, by the way. I'll get us all scheduled. But I saw your email and your update. I was so happy for you. But Mike and I have been working for quite some time now. And Mike, hopefully I'm not sharing too much, but as Mike continues on his journey, Mike is finding his groove. Mike has found his groove before as well. And Mike is actually a really good example of somebody learning to continue working on habits, because this isn't like Mike just started with me. Mike has been working with me for quite some time and has learned to really figure out, okay, I might not be able to do this today, but I know what my backup plan looks like. I know what my eating can look like. I know I can clean this up. I know I need to work on my steps. I know I need to work on doing strength training, to work on my sleep. Oh, this triggers me when right? Again, I'm not trying to share your entire life, but just to see Mike find progress here, I love that. So breaking my 4th, Mike's done 4 in a row now. Down a total of 12 pounds, weighed in at 256 today. Let's go, Mike. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for being vulnerable in that way too. I know it's not easy. So congratulations, Mike. You and I know we'll be talking a little later. So thanks again for checking in. I appreciate the $5 support. Thank you for the support as always, Mike. I appreciate you. Okay, so as I scroll back up here, so even when Kara says something like this, right? I stopped my fast at 13 hours yesterday. Meh. But I did work out even though I didn't want to. Some days are like that. And this is the way I look at this, Kara. Or is it Kara? You're going to have to correct me. Or maybe you did already and I just haven't looked. But This is what I'm talking about when it comes to imperfect consistency. Okay, so you fasted for 13 hours. Some people might feel really bad about that. But I hope you look at that as an opportunity to be like, okay, I didn't fast as long, but I can still work on my diet. I can still clean up the way I eat. I can still exercise. I can put those calories to use. I can use those calories to my advantage. I can sleep better. I can get on a good sleeping schedule. I can take care of my mental health. I can make sure to go over, why did I break so early? Was I truly hungry, or was it an emotional response? Was it a stress response? Was it a boredom response? Was it a comfort response? Right? That's what I talk about when I talk about being aware. You're just being aware, right? You're being mindful. And here is you working out even though you didn't want to. That is a win. That is rewiring your brain. That is changing your habits. I know it's not what you expected, but I look at this and it makes me happy to see, because it's like you're showing up. You're doing what you need to do. So, Kara, thank you for sharing with us. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Liver King fan says, Jerome, you're lucky your clothes are much cheaper. They're so much cheaper because I get to shop at the boys section. My clothes, like the pair of shorts I'm wearing, I think they were like $4, right? They're super cheap, super cheap. Miss Peaceful One says, hi, Jerome. Will we have the Wednesday evening live stream at the same time this evening? We won't. So actually, it's already up. If you look at my channel, that accountability live stream is already up. I posted it yesterday just to give people a heads up. So we're going to be doing that at 4:30 p.m. Central today. The reason is because I'm breaking later today and I still have a lot that I need to finish. So it'll be at 4:30 today. Hopefully it'll be enough time for you if you're able to hop on. So if you are, then I'll see you there. Liver King fan says, do you wear kid size shoes too? I don't. I have big feet. I wear 9.5 US men's US. So even though I'm short, I still wear, I guess, average size shoes. Sarah asks, what time are your live streams daily? So it depends on my schedule. And actually, I think somebody asked because I didn't see Aisha here today. Aisha, if you're watching this, hopefully everything's good. Please keep us posted. My live streams sometimes are usually around this time during the day, but they differ. And actually, I have someone, Aisha is the one who usually asks, Jerome, what time are you live streaming tomorrow? And that's usually where you'll get a better idea of what time I'm going to go live. So just FYI, Sarah, for the future. Shauna says, I'm on day 86 since my last day one. Thank you, Jerome. You're very welcome, Shauna. And right, as I say this to Shauna, I say this to everyone else too. Let this be your last day one. If today is your day one, let this be the last day one that you give yourself. And let this be the start of your real journey where you will take the good with the bad. Shauna, congrats on 86 days. And right, like having this become your last day one. I honestly look forward to hearing you continue your journey. So thank you. Maggie says, since Aisha isn't here, I will ask, what time will you be streaming tomorrow? That's fair, Maggie. That's fair. Usually I leave it to Aisha, but let me look at my calendar here. So tomorrow is a long day for me. I have two big meetings that are not even, I have two meetings that are not related to my channel. It's with my other clients that I do work for. So tomorrow will either be, man, I'm trying to think when I'm going to be able to do this tomorrow. So tomorrow I have a call with a client at 1:30, and that probably will last over an hour. And then I have another call right at 3 p.m. Tomorrow might be a later live stream. Tomorrow might be a live stream maybe at around 4:30 p.m. It's either that or it's going to be early in the morning, but I think it'll be later in the, I would say late afternoon, early evening. So let's maybe try for 4:30 tomorrow is my guess. If that changes, I'll let you all know. So, or I'll post it earlier that I'll be streaming in the morning, but hopefully that helps, Maggie. For the good, you're very welcome. Jerome, you have no idea how much these daily live streams are helping all of us. I'm glad that they are. I'm glad that it's helpful for you. I know you won't do them forever, but I'm beyond grateful for them for the time being. You're very welcome. Again, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing them for, but they continue to be helpful for me. So I want to keep, as long as I'm able to do so, I just want to keep putting them out, even if it's a shorter one, but they usually seem to last a lot longer than I even think they would. Mina says, today I had to break my 7-day fast at the 120-hour mark. Mina, I'm glad that you did, because you said you were feeling weak, you were feeling lightheaded. You've probably heard me say this before, Mina, but for anybody who is fasting for long periods of time, if you're starting to feel off, if you're not feeling it, if you've tried something like taking electrolytes or drinking like a Diet Coke or doing something like bone broth, and you're not able to push any longer, there's no shame, right? No shame, no embarrassment, no guilt. You're going to break, you're going to refeed, right? You're always going to hear me say, my advice is to eat as well as you can, right? And then you go again. And don't worry, Mina, if your next one isn't going to be 7 days. Worry more about, will I be able to continue my good, healthy habits? Because remember, if your fast isn't going to go as long as you planned, work on your other weight loss levers. Mina, thank you for sharing with us. Hopefully you're feeling better at this point. Sold by Storm. It's nice to see you. I'm back from 9 days in Vegas, gained 6.7 pounds, fasted 2 days and down 3 pounds. Congratulations, Sold by Storm. Sold by Storm, I love that you shared with us what that looked like for you, that you put on some weight, you fasted, you're already down about half of that weight. I'm fasting OMAD this week. Sold by Storm, keep us posted. Let us know how that's going for you. Hopefully you get back to where you were pre-Vegas. Hopefully you had a good time. I would say you'll have to tell us about that too, but maybe you can keep that to yourself. Saw Janet Jackson on front row. Damn. Must have been awesome. That's great. That's great. Okay, everyone. I think that's it. We're past our hour here. And I think that's all I have. Let me just give you an update for today. So today I'm refeeding. I don't know if I showed you all. Did I show you all my fasting hours? I can't remember, but it's fine. I'm 39 hours and almost 35 minutes fasted. I'm going to be breaking today. I mean, I've already done the 36 hours. I've now completed 5 consecutive alternate day fasts. I'm going to be breaking tonight. My goal is to try to go for, right? Is it 2? My goal tonight, everyone, is to go 2 times in a row of under 3,000 calories. That's my goal. Wish me luck. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But I'll share with you all anyway. You know how these streams go. The day after my refeed, you all see what I eat. I give you the calorie count. I'm very transparent with it. You all see my nerd stats anyway, so you see what that looks like. But my goal tonight is to keep under 3,000 calories, complete my 5th round of ADF, and then what happens after that? Any guesses? What happens after that is what always happens. After I finish refeeding tonight, whatever calories that is, I'll hit my timer and I'll start doing the next round of ADF. And what am I going to do tomorrow morning after I refeed? I'm going to go for my walk. I'm going to go to the gym and lift heavy. And then I'm going to walk back. And then I'm going to do what I do every day, get shit done. Because then tomorrow will be a fasting day, fasting all day. Tomorrow is my get my shit done day, right? I'm not going to think about food. I'm not going to have food noise. Fasting is going to be having a fasting day. Not eating is a non-negotiable, right? I'm not going to be thinking about food in that way. Tomorrow, after I refeed tonight, tomorrow is go for my walk, go lift weights, walk home, go to work. I have a lot of calls tomorrow. I have a lot to do tomorrow. I have a lot to do today still that I need to get done before my 4:30. So I'm going to continue working on that. Again, right? A lot of this, what I'm doing right now is I am continuing to practice imperfect consistency. I am taking the good with the bad. I am showing up for myself and for all of you, no matter how good or the bad, no matter how good or bad the days are. That is my ask. Listen, that is my ask from all of you. Show up for yourself on the good days and the bad days. You don't have to show up for me unless you want to. I appreciate it if you do because it's helpful for me. But I'm going to say this, right? Show up for yourself. That's what matters. Stop pretending that a bad day didn't happen. Stop pretending that, oh, you know what? It's already Wednesday. We're already in the middle of the week. I'm just going to eat whatever. Why are you throwing away the rest of the week? Why are you throwing away the rest of the month? Why are you throwing away the rest of the year? Don't put yourself in that position. Continue to work on yourself. Jose Vega, I saw Jose here because I know Jose just joined. I think I'm not sure exactly, but I know you're part of the Finally Fasting fam. So Jose, thank you for your support. You're onto something. I'm doing rolling fast now, 48 or 72 hours, 3 meals a week. Wish me luck. The best of luck to you, Jose. But here's some advice too, right? Whether it's a 48 or a 72 or longer or shorter, nothing stops your journey, right? Hit your timer, refeed, go again. If you refeed, continue working on eating better. Continue on pushing forward. The only thing that I ask from any of you is you continue to show up. So Jose, I love it. Please keep us posted. Tom Nell, am I saying that right? I admire you, Jerome. Love from Romania. Tom Nell, I know you've been around for a while. I know this profile picture. Am I right? Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Julie as well, right? 144 hours into her open-ended water fast because of the dailies. I love to hear it. Julie, hopefully you're feeling great. Keep pushing, keep pushing. And again, just like I had told Jose, if for whatever reason you don't go as long, well, I mean, right now you're open-ended. So you're ending whenever it feels right for you. So you know what the next steps are. Actually, what I would love to hear eventually, Julie, right, is when this finishes, what your next steps look like. So you'll have to keep us posted. Okay, that's all I got. Everyone, thank you so much for today. I appreciate you all. Thomas and Mike, that's a special thank you for the extra support today. Thank you for your donations. It means a lot to me. Also, oops, I'm like picking the wrong things here. Also, thank you to my Finally Fasting fam members. Thank you for the extra support as well. It means a lot to me as well. I feel like I say the same thing every day, but that's okay. I want to put thanks where I can give it. And then thank you to everyone in here. Thanks everyone for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your accountability. And also, right, like a really special thanks to people who are vulnerable today, who shared with us, even if they're struggling. I mean, of course, thank you for people who are also doing well and are finding progress, right? Like always, I love that. But I know sometimes it takes a lot out of other people to share when they're struggling. So thank you all. Thank you for being here. Here is my obligatory wave. Jody, I was about to wave goodbye, and then Jody says, hi, Jerome, day 3 of ADF for me. New sub, and you've inspired me. Jody, show up for us. Continue to let us know how things are going. And like I said earlier, good or bad, show up for us. All right, now here's my real obligatory wave goodbye. I will see you all tomorrow. I'm going to say tomorrow is going to be a later live stream at around 4:30 p.m. So I'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Bye.